Welcome to today's podcast for special debate episode. We're talking about the intense face-off between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris, their first ever face-to-face debate. This conversation will focus on key issues like the economy, immigration, and women's rights. Let's dive right in. The economy is always a hot topic. Let's start with you, Vice President Harris. Do you think Americans are better off now than they were 4 years ago?
Absolutely. My focus has always been on the middle class and working families. We've introduced plans like the $6,000 child tax credit and tax breaks for small businesses, because that's where real change happens, helping families afford housing, childcare, and everyday essentials. On the other hand, Trump's plan only benefits billionaires. His proposals, like the 20% sales tax on basic goods, would cost the average family $4,000 more each year.
Let me clear this up. There's no such thing as a sales tax. What we're talking about are tariffs on foreign imports, which means countries like China pay more, not Americans. When I was in office, we brought in billions from tariffs without causing inflation. Now we're seeing sky-high prices under Biden and Harris. Just look at the grocery bills. My plan is simple. Cut taxes, rebuild the economy like I did before, and bring jobs back to America.
Trump talks a lot about jobs, but under his leadership, we had the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. What we've done is clean up his mess, recovering from a pandemic, creating more jobs, and putting families back on their feet.
We need to stop the chaos at the border. Millions of people, including criminals, are pouring into the country, and it's hurting American workers, especially minorities and union members. Under my leadership, we had secure borders and strong immigration policies. We need to get back to that.
Trump's immigration policies were inhumane and ineffective, and his Supreme Court picks overturned Roe v. Wade, denying women their rights and access to basic health care in over 20 states, even in cases of rape or incest. We need comprehensive immigration reform that secures our borders while treating people with dignity and protecting a woman's right to choose.
Let me be clear. We didn't ban abortion. We gave the decision back to the states where it belongs. I support exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. My goal was to let the people decide, not Washington.
I've heard from women across the country. They face heartbreaking situations, like miscarriages, and are denied care in emergency rooms. If I'm president, I'll sign a law to protect Roe v. Wade. Many Americans want the freedom to make choices about their own bodies, not the government.
That's not true. I won't sign an abortion ban. This issue should be decided by the states. For 52 years, people have wanted this decision out of Washington. The states are now voting, and it's what people want.
I've worked to address the root causes of migration. We need more border agents and resources to fight drug trafficking. Trump blocked important legislation to improve border security, preferring to run on the problem instead of solving it.
That's false. My rallies are huge because people want change. The immigration issues are a disaster and it's hurting our towns. We need to take our country back.
I'm focused on what Americans need: affordable health care, a secure border, and reproductive rights. We deserve a president who listens to the people.
I'm the one who can make America great again. The current administration is ruining our country. We need to stop the chaos.
I believe we need to focus on the real problems Americans face, like the housing crisis and rising grocery prices.
I see things differently. I believe the current administration has failed the American people. Just look at the economy and the situation in Afghanistan.
Exactly. We need new ideas. I have a plan for affordable housing and supporting small businesses.
But look at crime rates. You can't ignore the facts. The border crisis is serious, and I'd take strong action.
And let's talk about safety. My focus is on protecting people and ensuring law enforcement is respected.
But your party wanted to defund the police. How can we trust that?
My values haven't changed. I grew up understanding the struggles of middle-class families. I want to make life better for everyone.
And I built my success from hard work. You need strong leadership, not just empty promises.
We need to turn the page and work together for real solutions.
We need to put America first and fix the mistakes made by the current.
It's important to talk about the peaceful transfer of power, especially after January 6th.
I think it's misunderstood. I told my supporters to march peacefully, but the blame shouldn't fall only on me. The security failures were not my responsibility.
On January 6th, I was there. The president encouraged a mob to attack our capital, hurting many police officers. This is serious.
I showed up for a speech and wanted security. I offered 10,000 National Guard troops, but my offer was rejected. The real problem was with local leaders.
It's about understanding the consequences. This isn't just about one day. It's about respect for our democracy and the rule of law.
But what about the riots in other cities? People are not held accountable for that. There are many issues we should be discussing.
We must turn the page and not go back to those days. It's time for unity and respect for our democracy.
I built my success through hard work. If I return, I will focus on making America strong again.
We need to move forward, not back. We can't let fear dictate our democracy.
But you said there would be a bloodbath if things don't go my way. That's serious. And what about our energy policies? Under your leadership, we've lost jobs in energy production.
It's not about fear. It's about ensuring a fair election. You've repeatedly claimed you won in 2020, but that's not true. The courts found no evidence of fraud.
I said that sarcastically. I got almost 75 million votes. People are angry about the border and immigration. We need to secure our country.
We need a president who respects the voters. When you talk about prosecuting those who disagree with you, that's intimidation. We deserve better.
Dictadee. The truth is, I was a strong leader. Countries were afraid of me. We had no problems during my presidency. Your party is failing now.
The world sees what's happening. We need to protect our democracy. The American people want leaders.
If I were president, this wouldn't have happened. I would have negotiated differently with countries like Iran and Russia. Look, when it comes to Israel, we need strong support. Harris skipped an important speech by Netanyahu to go to a sorority party. If she becomes president, I fear for Israel's future. Under my administration, Iran was weak and couldn't support terrorism.
That's not true at all. I have supported Israel my whole career. Trump is trying to create division. His approach to foreign policy is weak. He admires dictators, which endangers our relationships with allies.
I know both Zelensky and Putin. They respect me. If I'm president again, I'll bring them to the table and negotiate peace. Right now, America is spending too much while Europe needs to step up.
We must support Ukraine against Russian aggression. If Putin wins, it could lead to more conflict in Europe. Our security is at stake, and we need strong leadership.
I told NATO members to pay up. They should contribute more for their own defense. Weak leadership means weaker nations. I'll always put America first.
That's not leadership. It's bullying. We need alliances, not threats. America should lead with strength and diplomacy, not fear.
A strong America means a safe world. I'll bring peace and protect our interests.
If I become president, I will work hard to end the war in Ukraine. I believe we need to support Ukraine to protect its independence. I met with President Zelensky before the invasion and shared important information with him. Thanks to our help, Ukraine is still free today.
If I were president, the war would have ended quickly. Biden doesn't know how to negotiate with Putin. We could have avoided many deaths if I had been in charge. Right now, we might be heading toward a bigger war.
It's crucial to remember that Donald Trump is not running against Joe Biden. He is running against me. If he were president, Putin would have taken over Ukraine already. Our NATO allies are grateful that I am not in charge because I believe in strong alliances.
Putin is dangerous because he has nuclear weapons. If I were president, I would have stopped him before this war started. When you sent Vice President Harris to negotiate, the war started just 3 days later. That shows how weak our leadership is.
That's not true. I have met with President Zelensky many times and worked to support Ukraine. America must show strength and stand by our allies. We cannot give in to dictators like Putin.
You made weak deals. I had a strong plan for Afghanistan. My administration negotiated a deal that would have kept our troops safe. Under Biden, we left Afghanistan in chaos and lost many lives.
I agreed with President Biden's decision to end the war in Afghanistan. We were spending $300 million every day. We needed to bring our troops home. However, Donald Trump made a weak deal with the Taliban. He invited them to Camp David, which disrespects our military.
During my time, we had peace. The Taliban was not killing our soldiers. I made it clear to them that they needed to stop or there would be consequences. Our withdrawal was poorly managed by Biden.
It's important to recognize that Trump's deal let the Taliban get thousands of their fighters released. He didn't involve the Afghan government in these talks, which was a mistake. We need to respect our military and our allies.
We left behind a lot of military equipment in Afghanistan, which is a disgrace. Biden's withdrawal was the worst in our history, and now, because of that weakness, Russia felt empowered to attack Ukraine.
We need a president who understands international relations and stands up for democracy. We cannot compromise our values for personal gain.
I don't care about Kamala's race. It doesn't matter to me.
It's sad that someone wants to be president but uses race to divide people. We need unity, not division.
I just said what I heard. People change how they identify, and that's okay.
Remember, Trump has a history of racism. He called for the execution of innocent boys and spread lies about our first black president. Americans want a leader who brings us together.
Obamacare is a disaster. I tried to fix it, but the Democrats wouldn't help.
You've had years to replace it, but you haven't. I support the Affordable Care Act and have worked to improve it, like capping insulin costs.
I have plans for better health care, but I need something that works and costs less.
We need to strengthen what we have, not tear it down. Everyone should have access to health care, not just those who can pay.
I built a great economy before, and I can do it again. The current administration is ruining it.
I'm focused on small businesses and helping families. My plans include tax deductions and support for first-time home buyers.
You've had years to fix these problems. Why haven't you? Your party's policies are harming the economy.
Climate change is real, and it affects everyone. We've invested in clean energy and created jobs in that sector.
I believe in clean air and water too, but we can't sacrifice jobs for climate policies that don't work.
We can create jobs and protect the environment. Young people care about this issue, and we must act now. My vision is about hope and building a better future for all Americans.
I will bring back our strength and make America respected again.
Thank you for tuning in. This debate was intense and highlighted major differences in vision for America. Join us next time as we continue to explore the issues that matter to you. Don't forget to like, share, and comment.